Good evening, all.
Hi, good evening.
Yeah, Yogesh, are you there?
हाँ आटा भेटेल ना आपण ना भेटायचं
I request all of you to mute your microphones, please. Our next speaker is Samir Dalal, sir. So I think he joined. So let me check it out.
Yeah, I think I joined.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Yeah. Rest other participants, please mute your microphones here. So good evening, all. I would like to introduce the second speaker of the session. He's from 1983 batch, Mr. Samir Dalal, sir. Okay, he has a vast experience of somewhere around 28 years into IT field, and also as a hobby lecturer, he has started so many activities in astrology and the non-IT field. So he is going to deliver a session on conflict management. Okay, and I hand it over to Samir Dalal, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Shashikant.
Yeah, thanks.
Good evening, all. And I hope this session I'll be able to complete in time. It can be a continuation of the earlier session on the emotional quotient. And one of the ways to improve the emotional quotient is managing the conflicts. So we'll just go through one of the methods of improving conflicts. There are multiple ways of improving your conflict management skills. See, in today's world, right from our birth, we get into the conflict management. Which means that we actually struggle maybe with the environment, we struggle with unknowns, we struggle with those parameters which are not in our hand, we struggle, we try to accommodate, we try to adjust with various living and non-living things. So the conflict management per se starts from our birth. But here we are talking about the conflict management, especially with respect to our relationships and with respect to our work, with respect to our objectives and goals. So in today's world, when actually we are either studying or we are working somewhere, maybe we can be entrepreneurs, we may have big companies of our own, we could be at a maybe at a very senior level, junior level, but at all levels we have conflicts. We have requirement conflicts, we have technical conflicts, we have functional conflicts, management management conflicts, personal conflicts. So everywhere we have conflicts. What is the definition of conflict? Conflict basically is nothing but anything that is stopping your growth, and you have to resolve that. So there could be issues, there could be problems, there could be people, there could be environment. There you could be also one of the conflicts, because you have to have conflict within yourself when you are taking decisions. So you also can have conflicts with yourselves. But here predominantly we'll focus on the conflicts on the career, and maybe those who are students, maybe conflicts in their studies. So that what happens, the scope becomes very easy, and we don't get into the other, we don't get distracted into the other areas of personal conflicts and relationship conflicts and all of those things. So let's focus more on the work conflicts, and maybe those who are students, the study related or education related conflicts. Conflict is not a bad thing till the time it is resolved. And when you say resolved, either there are multiple ways of resolution. Either it could be in your favor, either it may be against you, or you may have win-win situation where you're compromised on the conflict. And in many cases, it is up to the individual to decide how the conflict resolution is going to happen, and whether it is going to bring a positive or a negative impact on self. So what it means is, it means that you need to resolve the conflict rationally and effectively. When you say rationally, it's a conscious decision. You are aware of the activities that you are going to perform. You can also resolve conflicts emotionally. So when you resolve conflicts emotionally, they are actually part of maybe an impulse way of, or maybe a reactive way of doing things, because you feel this is the way you have to resolve, you go and resolve that. So there are two ways. Impulsively also you can resolve conflicts, or you can resolve conflicts rationally and consciously. Now what happens, conflicts, I would say, are not bad, because conflicts actually increase group cohesion, which means that people come together because of conflicts. Otherwise, they won't be talking to each other, they won't be bothered about each other, but conflicts bring people together. And it is up to us to take it positively or negatively. Conflict increase your understanding, because when you go into conflict resolution, you have to study the problem, you have to study the solution, and you have to also make sure that the problem solution are in sync. And that's the reason your understanding also increases. It also increases self knowledge, because you tend to know maybe 2 or 3 or 4 additional things when you are resolving the conflicts. Others. And that's the reason I'm saying conflict resolution actually is very much important. Not necessary that because you are into conflict, you are trying to resolve your conflict. You can be an so-called arbitrator or a judge who is going to resolve conflicts of other people also. And from that perspective, conflicts can be very useful to an individual, of course, to the affected parties as well. Of course, if the conflicts are not handled properly, they could be damaging. It can actually hamper the relationship with people, and maybe it can bring a lot of negativity, and it may have a spiral effect of the negativity, which may further have impact on so many other stuff. So Thomas and Kilman, actually these are known people who have done a lot of research, and of course after them also there are many people, but I have chosen this method because this method is found to be more acceptable across the globe, and that's the reason I have chosen this. So Thomas and Kilman in 1970s, they actually identified these 5 main styles, and then they actually researched on these styles, and found ways and means how these styles actually impact an individual. And we'll quickly see these styles because I know few of you would have taken the questionnaire which I had forwarded so that it will be useful in this session. So that particular questionnaire actually will give a profile of a particular individual based on what they think. Based on that, what are their styles of conflict resolution, and after this we will see one or two practical examples. So you have collaborative, you have competitive, you have compromising. So collaborative basically is people tend to collaborate and try to, it's actually try to get a win-win situation so that both the parties or multiple parties who are involved in the conflicts, actually they get benefited. This is useful when you need to bring together variety of viewpoints to get a best solution. So basically, you're trying to get a solution from all those who are involved, and maybe those who are not also involved, they can also contribute to this. Competitive competitive is actually a style where you as a person who may be sitting in a decisive position, normally the CXOs and the senior leaders or the owners of the companies or business. So those people actually are into the competitive way of conflict, where they just give a judgment on resolving the conflicts. So normally this is used in emergency and where there is less time available to take a decision and to act on the decision. Compromising is, as the name indicates, it's compromising, which means that uh, the person who is compromising may be letting go certain things just to ensure that the conflict gets resolved. So the person who is actually compromising may be losing certain things, and he may have to give something or let go something to arrive at a resolution. Accommodating is trying to understand the other party into the conflicting party and try to get his views without compromising oneself. So it is actually maybe between compromising and collaborating. So that way. So you are trying to accommodate everyone and see that the solution actually benefits everyone. Uh, so where one tries to make sure that the other parties are also listened to and their views are also considered when we are actually having a resolution. And finally, avoiding is delegating or transferring the decision of conflict to somebody else. So like it mentioned, it's avoiding. So you are avoiding a resolution in your, let somebody else trying to take the resolution, or you may pass on the problem to somebody else. Uh, and when normally it is taken when the conflicts are related to controversy and has a major impact in case the resolution goes wrong. In reality, depending on the situation, these 5 styles everyone uses based on his or her experience, based on uh, the demand at that point in time, and of course the circumstances at that point in time. And that's the reason why normally maybe in communication or in psychology, there is nothing right or wrong. And it all depends on whatever decision or whatever resolution you have taken. Whether it proves to be right or wrong, that time only tells. And normally when the decisions prove right, then you tend to make those people as great leaders, and if it goes wrong, of course they have to they have their own implications. So effective uses of conflict styles, how you use it. So competing is effective when quick decision actions are required, whenever unpopular action must be taken on important issues like lockdown. It's a competitive decision, and there are so many people who are conflicting whether it is right or wrong, but then the decision has to be taken when the issue is vital and the right course is clear. Accommodative when you are wrong, learning is important, demonstrating reasonable is critical. So which means that if you are not sure about yourself, maybe you are trying to experiment. That time maybe the accommodating type of style can be used, where you listen to the other people and try to accommodate them, because in that process you also learn. Collaborative is effective when both sides are integrated, which means there is a cohesion between everyone, and the conflict really is not a conflict, but it is taken as a problem, and the solution to that is evolved with participation of everyone. Avoiding his issue is when the issues are small. You know that you cannot satisfy all. You may want to buy time, so that time you may want to avoid the decisions or avoid the resolution on the conflicts. Or maybe it's not. Uh, it's important, but it may not have much of an impact. Or maybe you know that somebody else is going to resolve better than you. Compromising, when goals are less important, you can actually get into compromise. When opponents have equal power and commitment to mutually exclusive goals, which means that okay, you may want to avoid, because you know that the opponent, when he is going to resolve this, you are also going to get benefited. Maybe you want to temporarily settle complex issues. So depending on the type and depending on the nature, you can choose this. What is more important is we saw in the emotional quotient, right? When you it is dependent, or the skills that are required are self-awareness and decision. Self-awareness and self-regulation, or maybe self-control. So if you are aware of the conflict management styles, and when you are actually getting into conflicts, knowingly, unknowingly, consciously, when you try to understand yourself, okay, so we resolve this conflict between two entities, and what did I do? Whether which of the styles actually I followed, and if you are consciously able to know that yes, I have been doing this, and it has been proven successful, and you create your own data for yourself, then when it comes to an important conflicts, or when it comes to conflicts which are going to have major impact maybe on your career or life, that point in time you can use your own knowledge and your own historical data to really get into conflict resolution more confidently. So most important is, uh, do you know that how you are resolving the conflicts? Do you know that what are the conflicts you have gone into the past, and do you actually have a record of your conflicts in the past? If not, you can start doing from today, and maybe this will help you later. So let's look at this particular chart. So on one side you have cooperativeness, on other side you have assertiveness. So when you are actually avoiding your uncooperative, and maybe you are unassertive also. When you are accommodating, you are more cooperative but less assertive. When you are actually competing, you are more assertive, because it's a competitiveness, and then less cooperative. And collaborating is actually more cooperative and more assertive. And of course, compromise comes into center. So maybe it's a balance of cooperativeness and the assertiveness. If you have a goal to win, and if there is a conflict, maybe you may want to go into a competing way of style. If you want your goal to yield some results, or you are going to get some benefits out of it, maybe you get into accommodating. If you want to delay your goals, that's where you get into avoiding. Or other way, if you goal is a common goal for a group of people, then getting way of type of conflict resolution will be useful. And of course, compromising is, you have to find a middle ground, where maybe you have to let go something, and the other parties also will have to let go something. Okay, so at this point in time, I'll just take a halt here, and I'll just bring the data which was shared. Those who have taken the uh, questionnaire which I had sent. So I have auto-populated this particular profile, which will actually give how is the style of a particular person. So if anyone wants to volunteer, I can take their data if they are okay to take this. Otherwise, I'll take somebody else data.
I'm okay. Yogesh here.
I'm okay, Shashikant.
Oh, okay, good.
I
So
am
maybe
also okay. Nitin Bausi.
sorry.
Shashikant.
Yeah. So maybe what I will do is, so I had actually received around 45 responses. So what I will do is, maybe I'll take Yogesh data. So Yogesh, this is your email ID, right?
Yeah.
So there were 30 statements, and out of the 30 statements, you were supposed to choose A and B, and depending on that, actually, I'm calculating the style. So there is uh, there is a formula which is given, and based on that, actually, I'm actually calculating the. So if you look at this Thomas and Kilman, so they have actually prepared this particular tool to identify the style. So now if you look at this, so out of the 30 questionnaire, you are going to select one, which means you will be giving actually 30 responses. So if you look at this, the total will be 30. 3 plus 4, 7, 7 plus 7 is 14, 14 plus 8 is 22,
20.
and plus 9 is 31. So there is one question, there is one statement which has actually benefit more than two of the styles, and that's the reason why it will be 31. So it will be there for 31. So now what this means is, this means that the accommodating style is predominant in Yogesh, followed by avoiding, followed by compromising, and collaborating and competing is actually less. So please note that this style, whenever you take questions, okay, those questions are related to one of the situations of the conflict. Okay, so depending on the conflict, if you take that questionnaire again, you may land up into something else. So which means that this particular tool has to be used for with respect to the conflicting situations. And if you do this multiple times, and then you will get a pattern for yourself, which will tell that in this situation, this is the combination of the style. In another situation, it will be different. And it is interesting because it will vary. This is not a permanent thing. Okay. So now if you look at, these are the absolute numbers. So which means accommodating is predominant, followed by avoiding, and followed by compromising, because these three actually will give maybe 80% of your 80% of your styles are actually these three. So there is a high possibility that you may be using this interchangeably depending on the situations. Now if you get into the percentage, so since it is in the order actually is increasing. So if you look at this, so 30% is accommodating, 27 is avoiding, and 23. So 23 plus 27 is 50, plus 30 is 80%. So 80% of your decisions related conflicts are actually on these three slides.
Okay.
Now if you look at the percentile, so what does the percentile means? Percentile actually means that there are people who are scoring below you. So which means that there are 83% of people actually are scoring below you in the avoiding. So you're avoiding because of percentile, you're avoiding style. So if you're going to look into a group, then the percentage of avoiding is much more. Now this exercise normally we do with with the teams where they are working together. And when we do with the team, and when you compare your style with the team, then you will come to know that which style basically you are using in that group, because in different groups your behavior will be different, and therefore for a particular group, for success of particular group, what will be the style. So here actually I have just taken just as an example all so this is not a homogeneous group, so that's fine. So we will not be able to interpret much on this. And then finally, this is what is actually looks the complete total. So I'll have to take for you. So again, it is a step by step. So from left to right, it is actually increasing towards the accommodating. Okay, so now if you look at Shashikant, Shashikant, what is your email ID? Yeah, okay. Okay, so now if you look at this, predominantly avoiding is coming up, and all others actually are more or less flat. So here also, let me change. So here also same. But if you look at 37 plus 20, 57 plus 17 is almost 74. So maybe again, the compromising, avoiding and accommodating is predominantly coming over here. Percentile also. So 92%, which means that 92, there is a high possibility that 92% of people will have the avoiding style of conflict resolution will be less than yours. So that is what is the interpretation. And if I take this, so this is the way it will look. Of course, you just send me the mails, or maybe whenever I get time, I'll put this into a Word file and share with you. I have your email ID, so I'll share that with you individually in next of days, or maybe in 1 or 2 weeks.
Samir, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Samir, it's Ganesh.
Yeah,
so
Ganesh.
I wonder if, I know when you compare this on a percentile basis, it's the group of people who responded, the other 44 people. But I wonder if there are some natural biases in here. One is a general societal bias. People, generally avoid conflicts. People are less confrontational. People are more ki, चला काम होऊन जातंय तर कशाला भांडण करायचं, कशाला हे करायचं. Whereas in other cultures, say in more Western cultures, people like to make their point and stay with it, and are perhaps more assertive. And I've actually seen that working in an international company. The Americans can be more assertive, the Germans have a different philosophy, the French are different, the Italians are different, and people generally from Asia, colleagues from Singapore, China, and India generally I've seen are more accepting and less assertive or less confrontational. So I'm just wondering if there's a kind of regional geographic bias. And if you have 1 minute, would you mind just bringing my profile up? And I want to see if it varies with the last 2 or 3 that you've shown, if you don't mind, please.
Yeah. So Ganesh, when did you take this test?
I took it about, say, an hour or so before the call.
Okay. So it will not be in my database.
But it's not there. Okay, never mind.
No,
Hold
on.
It's okay.
Hold on. I'll get that into the database. Just hold on.
In the meantime, anyone has questions for Maheswari sir, so they can continue in the meantime till if uh, Samir
Yeah,
takes
yeah, yeah.
time. If anyone-
No, yeah, yeah, you can ask.
Yeah, Samir or maybe other can ask question either to Maheswari sir or Maheswari sir in the meantime
Uh,
if they have.
yeah, I would like to ask one question to General Maheswari sir. Okay, is there any specific professional training for developing innovation and creativity of an individual?
I think let me check. I think he was there. I think let me check again. He was just online while ago. Just a minute. Maheswari sir.
He is on mute.
No, but he should be able to hear us. No?
Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah,
yes,
we can
sir.
hear you, sir. Yeah,
Okay.
please.
Unfortunately, there is no course at this point in time, but in the colleges, they have got one course that is the innovation management. Okay. So unfortunately, you see, because innovation every company does nowadays, and it's one of the gray area. Okay. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Anyway, I'm writing a book on this, so I hope this book will come by
Oh, okay, that's great. Okay.
this year. Yeah. How to the name of the book is Be a Winner, be an innovator, be a winner. So I'll bring out all these.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah.
But it's a very good. What you do is in this particular case, you go through some of the books you should read in this particular case is Bill Gates. Yeah, you're getting the points.
Yeah.
Then read Steve Jobs.
Right.
Okay, these are very good books. How they become the innovators, you can come from this. These two books are a must for everybody.
Sure.
Okay, and Thomas Edison is another one. Okay. The biggest innovator of the mankind, he had 101 patents to his credit.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Fine. Absolutely. Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, dear.
Yeah, Samir sir. You can continue, sir.
Yeah, I just give you 1 minute. I'm just pulling the data.
Okay.
I think Joshi sir is there. I think he had some question for Maheswari sir. I think Joshi sir is there. Colonel Joshi.
Hi, Nirmal. How are you?
Yeah.
Sir, General Maheswari sir, good evening. Nice to see you, and I enjoyed your talk. It's It's inspirational to think about how we can bring some innovations, into our lives and into society and into our families and everything we do. Something to think about, definitely, sir. I enjoyed your talk.
Definitely. We look forward to you, Nirmal, for that, for getting into action. Probably we can have a little group of us, and where we can do some more innovative work in this, as far as
right, sir.
Because you are occupying the other continent, so somebody from Samir Dalal can take it on from there. So things like this can be worked out.
Positive, sir. Positive. Nakki.
Anyway, great seeing you, Nirmal.
Likewise, sir. I also saw that Colonel Mudakatte sir has got a very nice tag on his phone. I see it says Colonel Rough and Tough. So nice to see you, sir.
Right.
He's from Sikh line, so has to be Rough and Tough.
Sir, Joshi, one question. Joshi sir had one question in the meantime. What would be the effect of COVID-19 in case of innovations for the small and mid-scale industries in the coming days? Because
you see, innovation, person who is struggling to survive, a little difficult, but innovation opportunities are there. For example, the people are manufacturing flasks, people are manufacturing sanitizers. Sorry, not flasks, masks, right? Cheap masks are available. These are opportunities. See, unfortunately, because we have been mulling over on the All India Management Association as to how the MSMEs should be saved. This point in time, MSMEs are really hard pressed because they have to conserve cash, right? So what they have to do, I'm taking the way how the MSMEs can come out. So they'll have to again go the way what I had told Sanjay. They'll have to bid for the money which is available for the startups. right?
Yeah.
Because when the big guns are involved in that, the small people have much of a leeway of competing in that. So it's a harsh word. It's a very harsh word. You see, because the initial capital what is required is slightly hard to come back at this point in time. But another couple of months down the line, I'm sure even MSMEs will be able to have. There's a reason that the Prime Minister has taken MSMEs as the focus area, because almost 40% of the export is from the MSMEs, and almost more than half of the employment is from the MSMEs. But as far as the innovation for MSMEs is concerned, at this point in time, I see very limited opportunity because of the limited pockets. Nothing else.
Yeah, I am back.
Yeah, yes, sir. Continue, sir. Dalal, sir.
Yeah. Hi, Ganesh. So this is the way your profile looks like.
Oh, it's interesting. Thanks. So there is a bit of green as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Green is maximum, sir. Like me.
Again, avoiding actually is predominant, and that is a pattern which I am seeing actually.
Oh.
Avoiding, accommodating. Okay.
Yeah. So if you actually merge everything over here, you look it will look like this. So again, if you look at this, the right hand side is predominant. Okay. So now again, I have also taken. Let me find out. Yeah.
I think some juniors also can volunteer. It will help for them to share graphs of conflict management.
So this gives a lot of insights actually. So if you look again, so avoiding normally will be high, as you mentioned, Ganesh, in this continent, predominantly on the Asia Pacific region, the east side of the globe. So coming back, anybody wants to volunteer? I can even show theirs also.
Yeah,
Some
you
juniors
can show mine.
Yogesh
You
Jadhav.
can show mine. Jayant Khadilkar.
What is your email?
It is jpkhadilkar@yahoo.com. JB.
Yeah. Samir sir.
Yeah.
आता आपल्याला फक्त 1.5 मिनिट राहिले, पण आपण कसं की 1.5 मिनिट झाल्यानंतर सुद्धा परत एक आपण लॉग इन करूयात आणि जे काही ज्युनियर्स आहेत त्यांचे पण थोडेफार देऊयात, म्हणजे त्यांना पण थोडंसं बरं वाटेल.
एक ज्युनियरनी 2-3 लोकांनी करायला पाहिजे व्हॉलंटियर. 2-3 लोक ज्युनियर. आता नाव द्या म्हणजे ही विल बी रेडी विथ द ग्राफ्स. आता लोकांनी नाव द्या, सो आफ्टर 1 मिनिट रिबूट ही कॅन एक्सप्लेन फॉर 3-4.
नाही, मला ऑनलाईनच द्या, कारण डेटा तयार आहे. मे बी साधारण आज दुपारपर्यंत त्यांनी केलं, त्यांचा डेटा आहे माझ्याकडे.
Samir, that idea has been copied. Samir, that idea has been copied wrongly. You can correct your database. It is KH. I think एक missing. JPKH. J च्या जागी H पाहिजे.
ओके ठीक आहे. तो डेटा एंट्री जाताना म्हणजे एंट्री करताना
ते त्यावेळेला या करेक्ट फाईन
करतो मी.
कोणी ज्युनियर आहे का व्हॉलंटियर? आता नाव सांगा ना, जस्ट ऍटलीस्ट व्हर्बली इथे, सो ही विल बी रेडी.
Echin Bagal.